10:10 on Wednesday, January 17th, 2024. Call this meeting to order. Now that we have everybody here, we're here to have a discussion on the lease agreement for this property in Smelterville that we have, to my knowledge, not ever leased before.
Correct.
And I'll turn it over to Dan in a second, but I've met with Dan and Chris and worked out a general set of terms that I thought was consistent with what we have done with our other commercial leases. And we've not had anybody else show any interest in this property in the past, so my recommendation was that we go ahead and lease this. Dan, you want to fill them in on any other details?
Sure. This is a piece of property that's located at the west end of what we know as Commerce Drive. It saddles up to the east side of the Smelterville treatment facility, their pond facility there. Most people know that area as the Commerce Road, just west of the Shoshone Medical Center. So this is a 1 acre piece, or 1 1/4 acre piece of ground that we received from Department of Environmental Quality from DEQ as part of the ASARCO transfer of property. And a number of years ago, we requested they give that to the county, and so we could utilize it along with the rest of that open space for potential development. And since then, we've just been sitting on it. The applicant, Chris, and the mayor first came to us and has requested the use of that property as a storage yard for their porta potty business. And so we went through some process to figure out, could it be used for that, and what are the different parameters that might be there. There is some floodplain issues on that property, but no structures are being built there, and so we feel we're within the floodplain requirements for that particular strip of property. In the eventual change of our updated maps, that will probably be significantly changed, and maybe someday in the future some structures may be there. This particular 1 1/4 acre is pretty well inundated with utility lines. There's water and sewer lines that go to the airport, and there's the main extension line coming from Smelterville to their treatment center runs through this property. So in all likelihood, there's not much chance of buildings ever being constructed on this 1 1/4 acre. Anyway, so we came up with a draft ordinance or draft lease that was a cut and paste from our most recent one of properties up Government Gulch. We went through and modified it to suit our needs, suit the applicant's needs. And then based on the hearing or meeting we had last week, we went and made some particular changes to parameters to make sure the name was right. In particular, we settled on at that time, we settled on a 1-year agreement. We settled on the 120 days notice for us to issue a vacation if we needed, or eviction if we needed to, because we do intend to eventually put this property along with the neighboring property up for sale or future development. Didn't certainly want to go that way, and they have 60 days to let us know they're going to vacate the property. We had discussed the terms of $5,000 a year. Could be paid all at once ahead of time, or could be paid by the month, and that works out to $416.66 a month. The rest of it is the typical. We didn't change much of it as far as the use and the ability to use the property, and any improvements on the property are subject to the agreements in here. There wasn't much discussion on that or much issues with any of that.
I got one question on the rents being paid, and Idaho Code kind of states that rent shall be paid annually in advance, provided, however, that the lease, provided that the provisions requiring the payment of rent in advance shall not apply to lease to federal and state government. That's one I'm having kind of a problem. Do we have to have it up front?
Well, it is up front. It's just up front every month. But
well, they're saying that that's got to be paid annually in advance up front. So is that the total, or can we do it by monthly? So it would be in advance if you do a month by month.
Mm-hmm.
shall be paid annually. So that's what because annually is yearly.
Mhm.
So do we have to,
However,
that's my
however
question, do we have to have it
doesn't
all up advance, up front?
I wasn't aware of that, so I don't have any knowledge on that
Okay.
particular rule.
Okay. We can run it by legal and see what because I know we've on our other properties,
It's been a
one-time
payment.
Yeah.
Let's just have, if by law we do have to do like we discussed and do a one-time payment, I think we heard that would still work out for you guys.
We can do that.
If we can't do
the
the
reason we
monthly.
wanted to do it the monthly is just to help with the cash flow a little bit, because right
Okay.
now is our slower time.
I understand.
And that was part of the issue there. Depending on what they say, if we wanted to go 6 months, month to month, and then we get the busy season, then we can pay a 6-month lump or something. We're flexible on that as well.
Okay.
Well, do you feel this means that we need to stop and see what legal says?
We can proceed and just proceed with the intent that we're going to talk to legal, and if legal says that no, we can't, then
we
we'll
have to have
we'll
a
come
payment, all in one payment.
Yeah.
So
And then we can
we could
restructure.
proceed with
We
the
can
monthly,
still,
Yeah, we can still
but
proceed.
understanding that the law may require that you just pay it all in advance.
Understood.
Okay. Okay. Sorry, I wasn't familiar with that the other day when we talked. But that's why we have 3 commissioners, so the other 2 can keep me straight. So, okay. Dan, did you have anything else?
The rest of it is the standard requirements in a lease, and there was no particular discussion about those things. There was a little bit of discussion on some of the things in here talked about work and changes to buildings and whatnot. That in this particular property in this lease there were no buildings, so we modified those paragraphs to just say property. That any improvements to the property would come back before us and would require permits and that kind of appropriate insurance and stuff like that. So we just removed the word buildings from most of that. Other than that, there's exhibits in here as mentioned in the beginning paragraph. The exhibits are basically just a site plan of the property itself. Marked in your book as A1 is the same map with the floodplain layer over it showing that property is in that floodplain, the floodway designated area. Exhibit B is the actual plat of South Fork Sewer District short plat that demonstrates the lot itself and its easement access to the east back to K Street along that southern boundary. So it represents that. And then Exhibit C is the copy of the quitclaim that we received from DEQ. So, and I thought that was important because we've seen other deeds where it explicitly required certain environmental covenants and certain environmental things because it was a Sarco property, and this did not have any of those in it. So, other than sorry, so I only made one copy of the 4 pages of plat for you guys to review. The file copy and my file copy will certainly have that in it, and the applicant will have it. So it didn't have any of those requirements in it. So other than the standard ICP requirements for development on a property, and that would come with any development of that property. And the response we got from ICP was it has a 6-inch gravel cap on it now, and as long as that's not disturbed, then all is well. If they plan to put in any kind of fencing, we'll talk about that. And then if they did anything, it would be adding to it, be adding cap to it. So if in the future they decided they wanted to do any kind of concrete slabs or something, clean up areas, then that could be done. And then we take that up as it comes and we figure out what permitting is required at that time. So other than that, that's pretty.
Any questions from the board?
Yeah, I got the access to the property, or is because that property is right at the end. Are you gonna take care of the plowing to that, or how are we gonna do that?
There's a 30-foot easement from K Street along the southern boundary behind Shrum Medical,
Mm-hmm.
and there's already that road that's been prepared there, and all of the different folks that access the sewer treatment facility utilize that road as their
Okay, so
access
it's probably
easement.
plowed.
So somebody's plowing it. I don't know what the road
Somebody's
maintenance agreement is on it.
Okay.
Somebody's taking care of it, and certainly the
Because they're
entrance
using
into
it
this
to get to the
property.
pond.
They're using it to get to the pond.
Yeah.
Okay, I see that. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I'd already asked that question last
Okay.
week, so
Okay, cool.
we're thinking the same. Any other questions? Okay. Well, if not, at this time, I mean, I've spent a couple meetings with these guys, so I'm comfortable with. We've had no interest in the land. We have somebody interested in renting, with the understanding that we may want to go ahead and put this up for sale next summer, which would allow them to go ahead and bid too. I think they've expressed an interest in purchasing it to the board before. I would entertain a motion that we approve this lease with the contingency that if legal rules that we have to, we'll have to take the whole $5,000 up front. Otherwise, that it would be as written monthly payment.
Okay.
Is that fair?
That's
I'd entertain that. I'd entertain a motion like that.
So moved.
Okay. I'll second it, but one of the factors why I'm looking at towards leasing this property is the property is right next to the sewer ponds, and it does have all the utility lines going through it, and so it's really would be kind of a hard property to
It's perfect for a use like this,
exactly.
but it is limited in what it can be
Yep.
used for.
Okay.
All right. So we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion?
No.
Okay. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed by the same side? Seeing none, contract is approved with that contingent that we will find out about the payment.
Yes.
Okay. Right.
So we'll get that answer. No telling how soon. Might be a couple hours, might be a couple days. I don't know how soon we'll get that answer.
As quick as we can get the prosecutor's office.
Yes, as soon as we get an answer, I'll let you know, and then we'll figure out when you can come up and sign. And I know you had a check ready, but
Yeah, I can go
it'll
ahead
still
and
be
drop
ready
this
then.
off now, and that'll be, we have to go forward with the full month payment. I just pay the difference, but I can prepare to pay for the February rental today.
Okay. So you could take that as a, okay. All right. Do we have a copy for them to sign?
Yes, I have a
You have the master. Okay. All right. Public questions?
I'm glad that you're getting fair market value. It sounds like for this property that's never happened in the past. I appreciate that. The question about the road maintenance, you already answered that. And my other one was whether it had been cleaned up or not, worried about tracking if it hadn't. So everything's been answered. Thank you.
Okay. All right. We'll see you with that. And Chris, thanks for making it here. I think we're
I
ready.
appreciate your patience and waiting for me.
Yeah. Well, we're rolling forward. So this meeting is adjourned.